Beautiful souls, if you've ever felt like you're doing, nothing's coming back, what's happening here? In today's transmission, Maitreya is delving into the governing law of energy that is giving and receiving, why it's so effortless and why people overcomplicate it. She's sharing the exact secret that you need to implement, that you need to move from, where in your body you should be connecting to, and why it's really just a one-way flow of energy, and the rest you can actually just sit back and receive. Find out more in today's transmissions, beautiful souls, and if you haven't done so already, remember to subscribe to the channel so that we can reach more beautiful souls like yourselves. Enjoy today's transmission. Let's see where you all are now. Let's see where you all are. And as we come through to meet you once more, in today's transmission, we would like to share with you the message about giving and receiving. Giving and receiving. You see, many of you in the collective consciousness are aware of this energy of giving and receiving, but few know how to work with this. We can call it in a sense, it is a governing law because it works purely from the energy inside an individual, any sentient being. And it is free from any manipulative control, and it is free from any logical, any human interference. And that's why the governing law is so pure, and it is also why so few understand it. So, whether you are working, whether you are in financial troubles, a lack of the energy that you call money, it could be just understanding how you can receive more in your life, and not necessarily to do with monetary value, but just receiving in a sense that you have more of that which your heart desires, and whatever that looks like for you. And it could be free time, it could be having more time with your family, with your loved ones, and it could just be simply being able to be in an environment where there is nature, where there is an embodiment of the elements. So whatever this gateway of opening yourself up to receive, whatever that looks like for you within yourself, let's see if we can guide you to being able to work with it. And we can also share with you what that looks like. But more importantly, in today's transmission, we want to pinpoint the area of your body that you should be working with, and why it's so difficult for so many humans to move so effortlessly with this governing law that surrounds all. So, when we look at giving and receiving from a human perspective, the very first notion that you receive is, if I do, I shall have. If I do this, then this will come back to me. if I behave in such a way, then this equals to this. 1 + 1 = 2. But you see, you got to remember, when you are working with the laws of energy, 1 + 1 actually can equal 3. It can equal 7, and it can equal 11. What that means is that the energy that is moving through at all times in the giving and receiving, the input and the output, this energy, as we mentioned, has no necessary boundary. You cannot map it out in such a way so that you can start calculating and manufacturing it. It cannot be copied because it just is. And the reason why governing laws of energies are like this is so that those who want and thrive off of things such as power and greed, there is no formula. And that means that all in the realms of energy, in the purest of light, remains formula-less, free from manipulation and control. And that means as you move towards truth in your life, when things aren't working out, it forces individuals to move towards their own truth and purity. When you don't have something that you deeply desire, when your path isn't showing you what your heart desires, again, it forces you to keep seeking truth, to keep aligning yourself, to keep moving the jigsaw pieces. It forces you to clear out and clean up your own energy, to continue observing self first and foremost, seeking the highest truth for oneself. And what we see in the giving and receiving space is often an energy that is heavy in the mind because people are calculating. Okay, if I do this, then I can get this. And if I give this to this person, then I can get that from that person. You see, exchanges on a human level, they get so messy and murky. They become so entangled, free from purity, free from heart. So once more, when you aren't receiving but you feel like you are doing, the only place to return to and inquire within, dear ones, and it can be difficult for many, because you can feel like you've just been going, doing, nothing's coming back. Where am I? Well, it leaves you to only question, what are my pure intentions? What is the truth of my intentions? Are the truth of my intentions, are my actions, are my lines of communications, are my interactions and exchanges from the purity of my heart? Am I doing so from the depths of my heart, or am I doing so because I am calculating and I am looking to get from another, whether it's a person and it's a situation, whatever it might be? In these situations, in these scenarios, it's all thoughts. You are pre-planning. You are trying to calculate in order to get something back from self, which doesn't. That exchange does not come from the heart, and that exchange isn't clear. these kinds of behaviors, these energy exchanges, they may have worked in the generations, maybe from when you were very young or in your parent or grandparents' generations, just about. But we would like to inform you in today's transmissions that these kinds of exchanges, they will no longer stand. Because the energy of the earth, as it continues to rise, and believe so, dear ones, is it rising despite all the calamity and chaos, all the digging up that is happening. My goodness, is it rising? And as it rises, you will see, and you probably notice already in your own lives, dear ones, that things that could pass before, that you could allow to slide, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your home life, whether it's in your family, friendships, anything to do with your health, anything to do with your finances, anything that you would have been able to let slide. It's okay, we can manage, doesn't matter, we don't need to have a conversation about this. If I have another one of this, that's okay, it doesn't matter, I can just start tomorrow. You see, in every sector of being a human on earth, in every important sector that creates you, the whole, anything that is not meeting your truth, that is the highest of light within you, which cannot lie, no matter how programmed you are, no matter the illusions, no matter the unconsciousness, no matter what you are going through, dear ones, that truth that resides deep, deep, deep down inside of you, it's your knowing, being, doing. And in that trifecta, it knows the giving and the receiving. It knows the purity of the intentions. And it knows when one is just taking too much, and never offering fruits, never returning anything into the world from their hearts. And you see, the longer that these individuals continue in this kind of energy, you could probably imagine it gets very sticky. And there can be a lot of anger that starts building up, a lot of resentment. But again, it only leaves one to start questioning purity of intentions. And it only forces one to see their actions. So if you are listening to this transmission and you are looking to receive more in your lives, dear ones, we want you to always remember what is the purest intentions as you go about to either give, to exchange, to interact, as you go about your business, as you go about your relationships. What is the purest intentions from the heart without thinking, without allowing the energy of the mind and its manipulations to control any situations of any returns? If at all times, in all of your endeavours, in all of your acts, you can free yourself from the wants you must have and that you need that, and to be focused on the return, if you could set that aside and allow the mind to just step aside momentarily, you can have a conversation with the mind. And if you could go into your body, and if you can, make your decisions, your actions, whether you are giving and whether the energy of receiving, if it is coming from the mind, you will immediately limit yourself. And that's what we want you to know. If you start delving into the receiving, what I will get, what I will have, you immediately block yourself off from the stream. This limitless stream, yes. if you just go from your heart and you create that clear line from yourself out into the world, and you continue from your heart, because your heart is abundant and there aren't any limits or containers of limitations, barriers around your heart, within your heart. It is limitless, dear ones. So if you are able to connect with that source of purity, and in all of your exchanges, actions, behaviors, communications, move from this space, the receiving part then takes on its own form. You need not mind for this. The mind is of no use. The mind is only of use when you need to work something out, when you need to calculate something for precision. Otherwise, the mind can just stay separate. You see, the humans have become so reliant, so dependent on the mind, that even when you need not calculate anything, you call upon the mind to do it all for you, when actually it's the heart's job. So if you can, in this universal law that we have been sharing with you, find your outpour and connect to that wellspring, and allow the receiving mode to take care of itself. That is, dear ones, the secret and the only action of consciousness, of purity, of presence that you have to enable with a certain level of energy, with a certain level of vibration, of joy, of excitement. Yes. Do it like this from here. Yes. Be excited to do it, to carry out, to create, whatever it might be, to have the conversation. From that energy, like a child. From that place, as you give, the receiving will come on its own. And that, dear ones, is what we call a stream that is part of effortless receiving. Move from your heart, drive from your center, and ensure that your being is fully grounded and connected from your crown above to source, your light, divinity. And we thank you for being here.